right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Good evening, and welcome to MHC on the Rise, where it's our goal to create positive conversation and find solutions to the issues that impact Martinsville and Henry County. And I'm sure we have some parents out there who have been excited to have kids home for the last couple weeks, and I'm sure there's some kids who have been enjoying summer camps and all sorts of fun. And I have two young men here tonight who are going to talk some about public safety, some related to, swimming and some of those other things, but, some other areas of public safety. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we will begin our conversation.
Well, my name's Kiah Cooper. I'm Assistant Fire Marshal with Henry County, and we've been there just about a year and a half now. I love the job. I've been in fire service for about 14 years.
Okay.
All right, I'm Kenny Shumate. I'm the volunteer coordinator for Henry County. My position was started in March of this year off of a SAFER grant the county got to help the volunteers. Had 13 people hired off of that, and I'm one of those 13. We put 12 in the field as career staff. Been in the fire and EMS business in the field in Henry County for 25 years.
So in a sense, you guys are new to the job, but you're veterans at it.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, we're going to get some good information from you all tonight. And, I guess the first thing is we hear public safety, and, when I spoke to you all, I had to, of course, go onto your website and, do a little research. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what role does public safety play in the local government?
Public safety has been established for a number of years now. Started out with fire marshals and things, and began from there, and it really grows from emergency management, fire safety. We do a lot with the volunteer fire and EMS departments in the county. We operate out of an office at the old DuPont facility. We have a nice training center there with training props and everything, but we handle a whole lot of the training for the volunteers. We also do a lot of the safety inspections and things of businesses, churches, things like that, and anybody can request an inspection, and we like to do that to try to make everything safe as possible.
Okay. And you talk some about what are some other areas that you all coordinate?
My job, I coordinate with the volunteers. Between the career staff and the volunteer, I'm the link between the two. Also working with the volunteers on their training, in-house training. We have two training officers in our facility that do fire and EMS. One's the fire marshal. She does the training for the fire side. We have a EMS coordinator that trains there. I go out, take those programs out to the community, to the volunteer fire departments and rescue squads, promote them, and also go into in-house, do training in-house with them, try to help them keep their books, training records up to date, and whatever else they need as the volunteer departments.
And you both mentioned training on multiple occasions. What are some of the things that we actually train folk to do?
You have the core classes like Firefighter 1 and 2. That's usually the beginning stages of becoming a firefighter, and then you grow from there. And it grows into Mayday, Firefighter Down classes. In my field, I do a lot of the fire inspection, fire investigator, and a lot of that. And those are elevated classes that you can get into later after you've, I guess you could say, become seasoned. You've seen fire enough, but it's a continuing education. You continuously train, and I'm more familiar with the fire side. Kenny's more familiar with the EMS.
Yeah, 25 years of EMS. EMS is always changing, so you're always having to stay up on your training. You're always having to travel here, there to get advanced classes. Okay. Starts out EMT, then you go advanced EMT to intermediates, which is right under the level as paramedic, and then you would end up as a paramedic. And you can do that all here within the county. PHCC is offering the paramedic program. You can advance from EMT straight to paramedic with a degree.
Okay. And some of I guess, how do you get into the actual classes, the firefighter classes? Is that
The easiest way is to join a local fire department
as a volunteer?
as a volunteer. And we reach out also to neighboring counties, Franklin, Patrick, Pittsylvania County. We have a lot of guys that come in, guys and girls. There's a lot of females coming into fire service now too. But it's for anybody. There's no prerequisites or anything. You come in, join a department, and you're sponsored by that department essentially to be able to get into the classes, and it's free.
Okay, and then you guys will train them to be the firemen and women that we need. Now, as I read looked at your website, you guys have a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of that equipment. That's pretty impressive.
Start out on the EMS side. I'll do that first. Right now, we're running 3 full-time ambulances as a career staff. Like I said, we have 22 guys on the street at all times now. Through this SAFER grant, the county's got that system going to back up the volunteers because call volume, our elderly community is growing. So our call volume is increasing. So at that time, the county had to step in to assist the volunteers to pick up the calls. So they've had to hire, like I said, we got 22 guys and girls on the street, firefighter medics. They respond to fire and EMS. So we're running, as you see our website on the page behind us, 2 of our ambulances. We've got a grant in for another one. We actually have a fire truck that was donated to public safety from Ridgeway Fire Department. So we have our own fire truck we use for a lot of training. We have our burn building that is state-of-the-art burn building. We have one of the 2 ATM props in the United States on our ground. It's air track management. It's advanced fire training that we train local
And that's
people.
in the whole country?
That's in the whole, in the United States.
Okay.
There's 2 in the United States, and we have one of them. We have hazmat training cars, care cards, one of the 2, I think, in the United States on our grounds.
They're rail
cars. That's a care car that a lot of the hazmat technicians from outside jurisdictions come in and train on. We have air supply truck that we respond to assist the volunteers and at structure fires to fill air bottles that we carry on our back. That's not oxygen, it is just purified air. Everybody thinks we breathe oxygen when we go in the house, we'd blow up. Anyway, car fire prop that we train on. We have building props down there, building construction props. Trying to go through our, we have a maze trailer, confined space maze trailer we train. We have a lot of state-of-the-art, and our classrooms down there are state-of-the-art with smart boards and everything else for our instructors to come in and teach.
And stocked full with all the EMS training stuff we need,
And
mannequins and all kinds of stuff.
And anytime you have equipment like this, somebody's behind it. Who's pulling the strings? Who's taking care of the grants? And who's getting all of this good equipment here in Henry County?
We typically try to write grants to get most of our equipment. Essentially it falls back on the capital improvement plans and all that are planned years in advance that we have to foot the bill for ourselves. But typically with our area and everything, we can get pretty good grants, and we try to use that grant money very smart and get the things that we need that we can make our county unique with advanced training.
It sounds like you guys are definitely doing that. And one thing I noticed, stated 2 advanced life support ambulances. I mean, is that just a big fancy name, or is that?
They're paramedic units.
Okay.
Anything they can do in the emergency room, medications, IVs, intubations to help you breathe, all that's advanced stuff. And those trucks are equipped and stocked for it. Anything a doctor can do in the emergency room, we have standard orders, or we can call a doctor and get orders to do it in the field.
Okay. It's just a level of care.
It used to be pre-hospital care. Now we're bringing the emergency room to you, and we fix you. And a lot of times we actually have a helicopter that's located in our area now at Blue Ridge Airport. Air Care out of Baptist has a helicopter here, and we train and coordinate with them. If we get on scene and it's bad enough, we know Martinsville cannot handle it, or they need a specialized treatment, we bring the helicopter out, set the helicopter out on scene, and fly you to where you need to be. So we're very advanced, very aggressive in our EMS service right now.
Absolutely. So Henry County should definitely be proud of
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
what you all are doing and the equipment, and should feel good about it.
Right.
I mean, because sometimes it's just a matter of seconds and minutes, as far as life and
Oh, yeah.
death.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the quality of our staff; it's quality of our volunteers.
Yeah.
Most of our volunteers in our county, I've been a volunteer for my whole fire service, still do, but they're dedicated and really striving to give the best care to the people of Henry County that they can.
Absolutely. And on that note, do you need more volunteers?
Absolutely,
Yes,
we're always
very much.
needing fire side and EMS side.
Yeah. And if anybody out there that wants to volunteer, contact the office, 634-4660. You can ask for any of us. They'll get you information, contact to the chief or captain of the department you need to see, and get you signed up ASAP.
And who should volunteer? I mean, are there certain ages, certain people?
Anybody.
Anybody.
Support people that can't get out and run calls. I talked to a lady today that said that, she can't run calls, but she would like to help. So I'll try to get her hooked up with somebody. She can do paperwork, fundraisers. All the volunteer departments do fundraisers. So they always needing help to fundraise. If you got the guys that's running calls, they don't have a lot of time to do fundraisers. So if they could just get a support group to come out and do their fundraising part, would really help the departments also.
Okay. So pretty much anybody who would like to volunteer,
Yeah.
call, and there's a place for them.
That's right.
Okay, great. And probably the toughest part of your job is when you actually have to deal with an emergency.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure during different times of the year, you deal with different situations.
Right.
What are some of the things that you deal with, some of the types of incidents that you deal with this time of the year?
Well, as far as fires go, we see, and really this is year-round, cooking, unattended cooking is the #1 cause of house fires in the United States. We try to educate the public a lot on cooking. Don't ever walk off and leave your stove on, the eyes on, anything, especially grease related, but it doesn't take just grease to start a fire. Any food that gets hot enough will burn and cause a fire in the cabinets or whatever. But typically, this time of year, our biggest thing is people are overloading their circuits and things because of the hot weather. People run air conditions with extension cords and anything like that is just an overload for the electrical system in their homes, just trying to stay cool. And all that will cause fires too.
And you mentioned overloading circuits. What's the best way? Because when it's hot, it's hot. And I need to plug my fans up.
Right.
I need the AC running. So what are the best ways, and how? What should you plug into?
Well, you definitely, we preach this a lot, and businesses can't have them. Homes can, but the multi-plugs that you put in the walls, where you can plug 6 or 8 different appliances in one outlet, those are a very high fire hazard. It's better to use, they have 2 plugs in them, so just plug 2 things into it.
Okay.
If you want to run a fan, try not to use an extension cord, try to use it in the outlet. Because a lot of times those extension cords over a period of time break down and they get hot. A lot of people will use a 100-foot extension cord running something 5 foot, so it's all coiled up, and that builds heat, and it, over time will cause fires.
Okay. What are some of the other issues that we deal with this time of the year?
We can do the elderly with heat emergencies. If it's hot outside, you get the elderly that do not have adequate air conditioning. Make sure you keep a check on them, do well-being checks on them, family members, whatever. Also, outside working, make sure you use your sunscreen for sun poison, sun cancer. The skin cancer nowadays is astronomical with the diagnosis of that now. If you're outside working, don't overexert yourself. Take your time, hydrate yourself, drink plenty of water, Gatorade, some kind of sports drink or something to replenish the electrolytes you're losing out of your body. if you're swimming, pools, make sure you got life preservers, watching kids around pools, don't let them fall in.
Okay.
Have your little safety devices and stuff in place.
Okay. Martinsville, Henry County, we're going to take a break, but we're going to come back with Mr. Shumate and Mr. Cooper. We're going to talk more about some of the situations that they deal with this time of the year and situations that they deal with throughout the course of the year. We'll be back in a few minutes.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
When they come here, they're going to be taken care of in every possible way.
We try to do our job the best we can.
That's the number one thing. You got to do a good job, do it correctly the first time, and make sure it gets done as quick as possible.
Jim Mills also takes care of his customers, free state inspections for everybody that purchases a vehicle from us, and then on all new vehicles he does his complimentary lifetime warranty.
You know, when something comes up and they have a concern, it will be covered under their lifetime powertrain warranty.
Join the Jim Mills family today, across from the Martinsville Speedway or at jimmillsnissan.com.
You're watching BTW 21, your neighborhood network, the pride of Martinsville.
Why do people drive for miles around?
The food is great and the service is superior.
El Parral, where quality food and fun come together.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home, knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors. Right here in Martinsville, it's sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.
We'd like to invite you to come see Family Pharmacy and give us a try today. We offer $4 and $10 prescriptions. We offer the $4 and $10 list as well as immunizations, over-the-counter medications, diabetic care and supplies, candy flavorings. We have 50-cent greeting cards, low-price makeup, sunglasses, reading glasses, and more. We offer free delivery within about a 10-mile radius. Let us be your Family Pharmacy today.
Bridgewater Marina,
where land ends and adventure begins. Bridgewater Marina,
your source for endless summer fun.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Welcome back to MHC on the Rise. And I'm here with Mr. Shumate and Mr. Cooper from Public Safety. And during the break, we talked about something that probably a lot of homes see, and in the surge protectors. Tell us what you were discussing about surge protectors and something that's definitely a danger.
Yeah, we mentioned about the multi-plugs that plug right into the outlet, and surge protectors are a completely different animal. Surge protectors are great if they're used properly. You know, you plug them directly into the wall and it gives you 6 or 8 plugs that you can use. But where the problem comes in is where people need more than 8 plugs, so they plug another surge protector into that one. And we call it piggyback, and that's where you start creating a hazard for electrical shocks, fires, anything dealing with those.
And I'm going to have to go home tonight and look at all my outlets and make sure I have everything in order, because we definitely don't want to, do something that's going to create an issue. And I know you guys have to pull a lot of different departments together. Who are the departments that you work closely with to make sure you keep, Henry County safe?
Well, we work collaboratively with so many different departments in the county, not just the volunteer fire and EMS departments and squads, but all of our local deputies, sheriff's department, PSA, everybody. Even the city of Martinsville, we work very, very well with the city fire and EMS, city PD. We're constantly working together, training together. That way, down the road when something happens, we know what everybody's role is. We know what we're going to do, what they're going to do, and it all flows a lot better, and it's a lot safer for the public.
And that's good. And I know, we talked some about when you have to train for those events that fortunately we haven't seen,
right?
But other areas are seeing, and I know you guys have to train for some of those events. And one thing we talked about was like a wildfire,
right?
Yeah. And you train for that. And
yeah, we don't see the larger events like that around here, but we still train for that. It could happen. The larger events that would affect the whole county versus an isolated portion. Mass casualty events, large tornadoes, large fires, anything. And we've seen here in this area that tornadoes are very possible.
Absolutely.
We've seen some smaller ones, nothing like it's out in, was it Nebraska had a couple this evening. But we constantly train with our department, with everybody across Virginia, with Virginia Department of Emergency Management. They usually head up a lot of that stuff, and we're ready and prepared, and we're constantly preparing ourselves in case we have an event. We have shelter merchandise in storage in case we have to open shelters for large events or anything like that. But we coordinate that very well.
Even down to SPCA, we have an SPCA trailer that I didn't know anything about until I come to work here in March, that we have emergency SPCA kennels if there's a disaster. We set up, and it's coordinated with the Henry County Animal Control with the Sheriff's Office through SPCA, and then we would respond it out. It has kennels for dogs when they go to shelter, so you can bring your pets, and we'd have kennels there to store your pets, and that's coordinated through SPCA and the Henry County Animal Control.
Yeah, one big thing in emergency management is you have to plan for everything, every realm of life, whether it's male, female, elderly, young children, cats, dogs. You can't leave anything out, and you have to continuously plan for those.
And let's stay with that training for a minute, because when an emergency happens, you can train, but the real thing is probably not going to happen exactly the way the training took place.
Right.
So one, why is the training important, and then how do you keep your composure? When you're going to a real life situation, somebody's life is on the line. How do you keep that composure to do the right things and to remember what you learned through the trainings?
Well, a lot of things, we talk about when we train in fire service. You train as if it's the real thing. That way, when it is a real thing, it's almost second nature to what you do, and you remain calm. There's things that you may get a little heated and excited about, but you fall back on the training and what you remember in doing that, and it's almost an automatic thing that happens.
We call it muscle memory. Once you do things over and over, and that's the reason you have so many hours of training, is once you do things over and over, it builds a muscle memory in your head, and you may not remember it until it happens.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, ooh, hey, I know what to do.
And then that's why it's important, I guess, to take that training seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that when it happens, you know exactly what to do, and your team understands what to do. You mentioned earlier about the large elderly population. Let's talk about that some, because I see a lot of elderly people out and about, whether it's a garden or flowers, and it's hot.
Right.
I have to, say something to my mom sometimes. She's out in the yard all day. It's like, get a bottle of water, just take a break. But this, she always tells me this is what she loves to do. What's your advice to the elderly and also their caretakers about making sure they take care of themselves in this, type of weather?
Just try to keep them cool. Make sure that you use their sunblock. Big hats, you see a lot of the older folks. And the older generation, they didn't come up with air conditions like we do now. And you go in their house and it's 80 degrees and they're sitting there covered up. You just have to watch, make sure their core temperatures doesn't get up, end up getting heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Just keep your eyes open for them sweating, and just, try to keep them set down, cool them off if they get overheated. And elderly, if they do get heated, try to get either their family physician or someone to be a follow-up to make sure they're okay, especially if they have a syncopal episode where they pass out or something. They do want to get evaluated either at the emergency room or through one of our urgent cares or their family physician.
Never hesitate to call somebody.
Yeah, always. 911, we're there. I'd rather come out and you be okay than come out and something be majorly wrong.
And one great thing that's really come about here lately is the self-alarms that most of the elderly wear around their necks. We've had a few calls that, if they've fallen or they've gotten into a situation that they've hurt themselves or anything, they can hit that, and it goes right through to our dispatch for the dispatch of that company, and then they call our dispatch and directly call rescue squads out to help them.
15 seconds, each of you. What advice would you give, or what else would you like to say about public safety to the citizens of Martinsville and Henry County?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers. We like to work directly with volunteers, help them out any way we can. I still love volunteering. And, if anybody may think, well, I can't get out and I can't do the firefighting or running medical calls and things like that. But, like Kenny said earlier, we need more help than that.
Okay.
And I'm going to echo him. Since I'm the volunteer coordinator. I need help. Every department in the county, fire EMS needs help. We do have career staff backing them up, but we still the county cannot perform without their volunteers. We couldn't do nothing if we didn't have our volunteer system backing up. So, yeah, volunteers, call me. Go to our webpage. You can see how to volunteer. You can call us at the office. 634-4660. We'll get you the main line, and they'll hook you up to who you need to contact.
And I want to thank you all for what you do to
Thank
keep
you.
us safe.
Thank you for having us.
Oftentimes you guys, I'm sure, seem to go unappreciated, but we appreciate all that you do for, Henry County, and I'll say for Martinsville as well. So we appreciate you all coming on tonight. And Martinsville, Henry County, tune in next week as we're going to have Mr. Kiah Sweeney, and we're going to talk about some events that he has coming up, and may even get a live performance next week. Have a great week.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Bridgewater Marina,
Where land ends and adventure begins. Bridgewater Marina,
your source for endless summer fun.
Jim Mills Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents Things That Are in the Family.
Going hiking with my dad.
Reading books with my parents.
Helping my sister with her homework.
Going on vacation together.
A Jim Mills lifetime warranty.
Because all Daddy's customers are in our family.
And during the Chrysler Big Finish event, get 0% APR for up to 72 months on select new models.
Join the Jim Mills family today across from the Martinsville Speedway or at jimmillschrysler.com.
You're watching BTW 21, your neighborhood network, the pride of Martinsville. Henry County Flooring and More is your one-stop shop for all your flooring needs. They offer excellent customer service and care about your flooring needs. From carpet to vinyl, hardwood or tile, Henry County Flooring provides professional installation. Henry County Flooring, they care.